And we're on. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Land of Dreams and Nightmares. I am your Dungeon Master, Esper, coming to you live from the Golden Chamber. And I have with us, once again, these four fine fellows here. We'll do a quick introduction, short recap, then we'll just get right into the actual playing. We'll do Adam, Dennis, Vince, Warsor.
Hi, I'm Adam, and as before, I'm playing Kivish, the Circle of Dreams Druid. He is a dwarf.
Dennis.
Hey, hi guys, I'm Dennis. I play Lykar, the level 7 Storm Sorcerer.
Half-elf, are you not?
Yes.
Half-elf. And Vince?
I'm Vince. I am playing Drake, the monk rogue wood elf.
And I am Warsor. I'm playing Captain Noxiqual, the human Warlock hexblade.
Excellent. So when we last...
I am busy.
Yeah, Daddy's busy. When we last played, the characters were under a ruined temple known as Omen Mox.
Go.
There are old halls and magic traps, and deeper under there is a layer of mephits known as the Old Ones. So they are a bit segregated from the mephits that live at the surface of the ruined temple. They're a bit more, even more peculiar, and you were sort of slinking through in a fashion, and you also encountered a newcomer. This shadow monk, Drake Fell, who was given a sort of magical passage as a boon from the Masked One, the patron of Noxiqual. So Drake came through unexpectedly through Noxiqual's dimension door, being saved from a terrible fate of being eaten alive by some sea monster. And he gave his word to the Masked One that he would go back to that shipwreck, or at least locate the shipwreck, and bring out the special cargo from the cargo hold, and that Noxiqual would know what to do. But we'll get into all that at a later time. For now, you all got a bit entangled with these old mephits beneath Omen Mox. You did not fight them. There was kind of a moment of danger as Kivish stirred up a hornet's nest, poking his nose in old mephit lair. He might have done a bit of attacking, but soon stopped his reaving and retreated back with many a mephit on his heels. You all spoke with him. Lykar made this majestic display of sorceress power, saying that in his blood was Telvantis, the Storm Titan, brother of Warsor, the Frost Fire Titan, whose corpse is here below Omen Mox. Lykar went before the Council of the Old Ones, and then things kind of took a turn from there. Well, let's see what happened. Well, he was speaking with them, and then it somehow got to a point where he was being taken to be sacrificed to fuel the regeneration of this dead Titan. And he decided, wait a moment, actually, I do not want to go into your freeze chamber and be destroyed and reduced to residuum and used to fuel this rebirthing ritual here, or I guess I should say a reanimation ritual. And you flew out, luckily, kind of by the skin of your teeth. You flew out through the geyser, we'll call it a crater, through the opening, and rejoined with your allies. So you all are there. The four of you, actually the five of you, Orgrim Halfgraze with you. The five of you are up there. You're on the surface. not too far away from the center of the ruin, where the geyser is spewing up the scalding, steamy water. And Lykar, your allies are probably looking at you, wondering what in the nine hells just happened there.
Last thing I saw was Lykar just shoot out of there, flying at top speed to get away with a horde of these things after him. Right? Where's the horde?
Lykar, you went flying out of there. You're not sure if they were hot on your tail or not. You go shooting out. Are you flying down to where your allies are on the ground? Are you flying into the air? Where are you going?
Well, I will fly to where they are. Are they still chasing me?
All right. So you look back. You do not see any methods at the moment.
So did we see them, or no?
No one has seen any of the old ones emerge from the crater, at least not yet.
Okay. I'm like, Lykar.
I will basically give the rundown of everything that has happened to me with a little bit of irritation in my voice. These methods need to die.
Oh. Well, considering they tried to kill you, I'd be inclined to agree. Luckily, we now know the way through their door, but...
Lykar, make an insight check.
Okay. $16.
16? Okay. So, Lykar, you rejoin your allies. So the five of you are all there together, and your allies are listening to you, presenting a quick rundown of what happened there in the ritual chamber, and the thing that strikes you is that there was a moment where it seemed like the Mephits understood that you were willing to be a part of what they had going on. You don't know if this was a language barrier, a difference in custom, misunderstanding something, but as you're retelling this to your allies, you get the sense that the Mephits were somewhat under the impression that you were going to go along with their whole deal.
When you tell us the conversation, I do recall, that sounded like you would give anything, is what you said, to restore Telvantis, your family, is what you meant, but it also implied that you would do whatever it took to bring back Warsor.
Now that doesn't necessarily make it right, or that you actually agree with it, but you get what strikes you as you're retelling this to your allies is that somehow, somewhere in there, whatever it be, whether it was a miscommunication or just a sheer a cultural factor, they didn't seem that they were just actively trying to drag any person in there. They were certainly willing to do something pretty nasty, but you don't think they were just like, ha, our evil plan is unfolding exactly as we planned.
Perhaps they cannot sacrifice an unwilling.
So how do you feel about that, Lykar?
Well, to be honest, I didn't want to be deep freezed, so I guess I could understand their point of view, but if Lykar is just pretty peeved off at the moment. So,
all right, why don't we rest on it? You've used some of your magics, Kivish. You've used some of yours. I
have done a few spells. Yes.
Why don't we rest up here and we think about our next action, And how many? We don't have a huge amount of time before we need to be to the Dirge Caverns, but I do have a plan that perhaps we can do something here still, if it is within the time that we have.
Orgrim is stroking his beard, listening to you all. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, no. But have we found what we were looking for? Lykar, have you found what you were looking for?
No, not yet. There's
It
still
seems
so
like
much,
this place is a big lot of confusion to me.
so much to absorb and so much to just to all take in, and trying to get my head wrapped around this is a lot right now.
Ah,
I was
but
hoping
better you absorb it all than you be absorbed.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
about to be absorbed, but I'm trying to get my head wrapped around all this, and I was down there to try and learn some more, but I didn't get to learn a whole lot.
Noxiqual puts an arm around your shoulder, Lykar, and he leans in and he's like, "Tell me more about the ritual at the chamber. Tell me everything that you saw. I might know some ways to disrupt this if you are of that mindset. Would be a way to get back at them for trying to kill you."
Right, Lykar will recall the hot chamber and the cold chamber, and I think it was a pedestal where the little head council guy was on, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they had a basic council of elders on these pedestals, and you were in their midst, and then there were the other old ones all congregated about, and then at the far end, up in this big stone sarcophagus, was this gaunt skeleton, this corpse of this titan, but it did have bluish flames, wisping and licking up its frame.
Based on everything he tells me, Esper, is there any sort of roll or check that I could make to learn something about this ritual and how it might be disrupted or diverted?
Okay, so I mean, aside from obvious stuff like, oh, we blow the whole thing up or kill everyone or cut the head off of the giant, make just Arcana check. It's a magical thing.
Sure. That is, let's see what my Arcana is. It's been a few weeks. Still the same. So that's a 20, but not a natural 20.
Okay. So you heard previously Precious Respor say, that the head of the surface methods, you heard him say that Vorsbrand will be coming back. He said it with full conviction.
Yes.
He said it is only a matter of at what power level will he come back.
Right. That's right.
So you're going over the different details and retellings of your ally Lykar here, and you think, well, it seems that these old ones down there have things arranged where they can revivify Vorstbrand.
Right, sacrificing. It seems like they're dead, almost like the ones that die or give up themselves to become part of this ritual.
Or some other being of power, such as a sorcerer by chance.
Something tied to the elements.
You suspect that on this note you have been told the truth, that the old ones have the means, the very means at their fingertips to activate Vorsbrand at any time, really.
Then let me ask this.
But at what price? That's all it is. It going to be they feed their they feed their energy chamber here over the next century, and then do this like nice controlled ritual to reanimate him, or do they freaking kamikaze it because it's down to it's down to the wire. You are certain that if you all just sack that ritual chamber, they'll probably just activate him
right away.
And Lykar has seen their
I
their
get
zealous conviction.
I get everything that you said. So here's what I'm looking at.
But I guess you were asking how could you disrupt it?
Yes.
Yeah.
My thought is there's
Mm.
power there ready to activate him.
Mhm.
What if we just hap that power and drain it away somewhere else to another entity?
Mhm.
I know there's supposedly a dead god down there.
Well, he is the dead god.
No,
You're thinking of Illis the Lantern.
Yes.
But Illis is not here. Illis is in Bazagon.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Illis is in the Temple of Gates in Bazagon. That's a lantern, an actual big lantern.
Then what about another entity such as, I don't know, a masked one or something?
Or a god of dreams.
Well, I'm just thinking I am a conduit to this
Mhm.
entity in
Mhm.
theory. What if I could tap and funnel the power not to myself but to him
Mhm.
and let him drink of this well?
Mhm. Okay, so you wanna try for that? You think it'll be a pretty risky thing?
I do think so. I would like
Yeah.
to commune overnight with my patron
Mhm.
and see if he will approve this plan or say it's too risky, don't do it. And then I'll be like, okay, let's just go to Dirge Caverns.
Mhm.
So I suggest we all rest for the night. Thank you, Lykar, for telling me all this information.
Orgrim Halfgrey says to Lykar, "If you mean to seek vengeance upon those mephits down there, I'll be at your side, Lykar."
Oh, your company will be most welcome. We shall see. This will not be forgotten.
Yes.
As
It would be
for your patron, Noxiqual, I'm not so sure about him.
Oh, I wasn't saying that plan out loud to Orgrim.
Yeah.
That was going on up here. I will say the plan out loud after I get approval from my patron.
Okay.
Sorry.
What about Drake? Does Drake have an opinion on this situation?
Yeah, I'm
This
curious.
one feels we should fight back.
Fight back?
This one believes so.
Why do you think so? Just curious.
This one believes Diagnosis will guide us and aid us in battle.
Interesting.
Diagnosis will protect us. We are in the right to wage war.
But is this the right battle to fight? Is it the right time to fight it? The siege of Dirge Caverns is just on the horizon.
Indeed. Swamp Queen is a greater threat than this Vorstbrand that if the methods are not threatened, they will proceed their long, slow method.
Aye, they're playing that the long game, hoping for a big payoff at the end. Us dwarves do the same thing. We have the patience of stone.
But with the information we have now, we could come back later and disrupt it when they don't feel threatened. Right now, they're on high alert.
Patience or stubbornness. I know your grandmother was semi-Tyrian after all.
What? Actually, I do have a question. Does Kivish have a different perspective? Now, Kivish was kind of more. You had a bit more affinity towards these methods. You might have even mentioned something about trying to parlay or do an alliance with them.
Yeah. That was back before he realized they really are just concerned with their own motives, which have no real bearing on the actual ebb and flow of the dreams at this given moment. Yeah, I don't know that they're. It's a tough question. They don't seem like they are the type of thing that we should fight right now. They're doing their thing. They can probably do their thing for a while longer. And if they do summon a Titan, there's a decent chance we could play the Titan and a certain Mer Queen and or Swamp Queen and allies against each other and sort of refight that whole Dawn battle in such a way that threats will take care of themselves.
Okay, well said. So I think the overall consensus is that the secrets beneath Omen Mox and the situation with the Mephits is just going to have to wait. It's not high enough priority, but before you make any big decision, you're going to rest here and sleep on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you all are going to take up the quarters that Respor so graciously offered you all.
Seems legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the accommodations here are not exactly appealing. Just think of maybe some old chapel or priest's quarters that is in disrepair. There at least is a roof that could like keep the rain off of you. There are strange Mephit leavings here and there in the small piles that smell like, someone has been like, boiling all kinds of weird spices and salts in pots and pans for a long time and never cleaned them out. And you also hear their incessant cackling and horseplay at all hours of day and night. And from time and again, one of them will like pop its little head in the window and be like, "What you doing?"
I flick it on the nose.
Come here, I'll give you a little something on your nose.
Oop. No.
He blows out little steam rings.
Nope. Go away. I'm trying to meditate.
Meditate.
I would like to learn how to meditate.
He flaps into the room.
Ah, yes. Go sit in the pit.
But
That's step
I
one.
already took a shit today.
Well, then you can't meditate.
Kivish, if he
I
hears this
can-
at all, mutters something about Mithrilians. Right down to Pete.
Ah! Be gone, thing, you bother us. But that's what I do best. How about, see, instead of meditating in here, I take you to go see my friend, and he have something that take you to a next plane of consciousness.
One
Like,
full
my
of
shadow
tequila
begins
goes.
to twitch and kind of writhe a bit scarily.
Ooh. Well, that's what we get for being hospitable. It's not every day you get offered free Mephit rock.
I appreciate your hospitality.
He points at Lykar.
I want to see the sorcerer. Take in a big draw of the fumes. Yes. What wondrous effects might this cause?
No, thank you. I like my brain just the way it is.
Lykar says, don't do drugs.
Yeah, drugs are bad, McKee.
Or you know.
Well, you all are no fun.
He flaps out of there a bit dejected.
You there. You look to have fun.
Oh, God.
Try this. Kivish rummages around in a pouch and pulls out the dried cap of a mushroom, which, depending on how well the rest of you know your mycology, it looks like it could easily be something edible, perhaps a chanterelle, or maybe, something deadly or hallucinogenic.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Kivish knows.
The Mephit plucks the mushroom.
Mm. Earthy.
You're only supposed to eat a nibble.
Kivish sits and ponderously waits to find out just what the method equivalent of week-long diarrhea is.
I'm feeling kind of funny. Oh, wow.
You're a
You
bad
are
man,
valuable.
Kivish. But you're a great dwarf.
Feeling kind of funny. You look kind of funny too.
He the mephit kind of like bumbles his way out of the chamber that you all are resting in.
Kivish, I may never say this again, but I'm a little bit proud of you. But we'll never speak of this again.
Thank you, friend. Would you like a mushroom?
A few moments later, you hear the mephit. Another mephit.
It's like lava.
Was it a lava method?
Oh, look at the volcano go!
God damn. All right.
Well, at least it's not more sentient hippos.
Yeah.
Sentient hippo.
All right. Night has fallen. Night has fallen over Omen Mox. You all eat from the travel rations that you have, and drink from water skins or wine skins, whatever suits your palate. Let's see. Noxiqual, you said you were inclined to speak with the masked one.
I would like to do so in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If he would answer.
Yes, if he would answer. Okay, make, what would this be to summon him? I'm going to say make a religion check using charisma.
Yep, makes sense. Let's see, is my religion trained or not trained? So I just do my charisma. It's only a 14.
The cobwebs in the shadowy corner waver a slight bit, as if some ghostly hand might have rustled against them, but nothing more.
I keep trying for probably an hour or two, and then if nothing happens, I will just uncontentedly, settle down to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, it is a bit of a fruitless attempt, and eventually you settle down for what amount of sleep you can get, as from time to time you hear the distant rumblings of the geyser, or you hear a group of mephits cackling to themselves. Does anyone else have any nighttime kind of camping activities that they wish to partake in?
Drake's gonna want to, at least when it's dusk, take the falcon out and train it a bit. Because it's still young, so he's still going to want to train it a bit, trying to get it used to flying in dusk and early dawn.
Okay. Does your falcon have a name?
No, he has not named it yet.
Not named him yet. And it's a young baby or adolescent?
It's just starting to fly on its own.
Okay.
So
a young
almost like
falcon.
an adolescent.
Light color? Does it have like a blue tip on a wing?
It's a peregrine falcon. Does that help?
It's like white, brown with some blue tips.
The front of it's usually white and kind of speckled, and the like flight feathers on the wings are kind of a brown. It's got like a white face and a yellow beak.
Yes. Okay, sure. So light colored breast, darker on the head and the wings, kind of brown, brownish gray, yellow beak, black eyes, and a sleek and aerodynamic shape to it. Truly, it will grow into a beautiful bird when it's an adult. Okay, so you're training it. What's your disposition with this animal? Is it just like it's just a hunting beast, like a more of a utility thing? Do you have a personal affinity for it, like it's a pet or a companion?
It's kind of a combination of hunting and companion, because it's all that he has left from the temple that he was at. Because it was one of the things that he stole.
The last thing he has from Sunderwave Temple.
Yeah, from Sunderwave Temple. So it's kind of a connection to him. So he wants to take good care of it, but at the same time, he doesn't want to train it in the same way as they were trained. Just like messenger birds. So he wants it to be able to fly on its own, to gather food on its own if need be.
Okay. So this bird, represents an earlier time, the good that you once knew in the earlier times at the temple before things got complicated. And you're working with your falcon. You're teaching it, to fly and come back to you.
Yeah, they just go out and return commands.
All right. You find a spot that's fairly well secluded, and no mephits come to bother you. None of them mess with your bird in the sky. Just for kicks, make an animal handling check.
13.
13. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. You're training your falcon. It's a regular thing that you're trying to do to get it used to this. Does anyone else have any other small things that they'd like to do at the moment? Orgrim's just like he's flipping through his spell book and just kind of he's getting himself ready. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I got to be ready for anything.
Right. Kivish feeds Tynan the Tar Horse a little piece of pickled resin root and pulls out his new staff and walks off a little ways into the forest with it to mess around with it and see what the deal is with things. He speaks to it a word that he has just learned. Karnatir. What is this word? Karnatir. It is your name, is it not? And he activates the Staff of the Adder.
So you go out a bit outside of the ruined temple itself. It kind of comes down off of a little higher bit of elevation, and you go more into the swamp terrain amongst the sedges and muddy bits, and are studying the staff. And indeed, when you speak this command word, the wooden adder head takes on a scale-like texture, and its mouth opens, ready to strike. And you give it a few tries, and it looks like this thing could really do a number of biting someone.
Do mephits sleep?
You have seen the mephits resting and reclining and in various stages of inactivity, but you know that they don't actually require sleep like a person does. They just kind of settle down a few hours here and there when they need it.
I'm just trying to think how to plan my incursion in the most effective way that I can.
Are you going to do something in the middle of the night, some sneaky stuff?
I might just have to, because this way it doesn't impede the party plans to leave. As a warlock, I'll just get my spell slots back, So I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take a little bit of a chance here, but I'll sneak out at night. I know where the chamber was because I've been to the freezing chamber, correct?
You know roughly the direction that it's in. So
I've seen it. Remember,
you saw the urn shaft, which was in a different location.
That's a different
down through the wide tunnel. That's where Lykar was going to meet with the Council of Elders.
Gotcha. Well, as I only have a couple slots, here's my plan. I will tell you it, and then we will enact. 2 spell slots, 1 Rod of the Pack Keeper, which will give me 1 more spell slot per long rest. So, a Dimension Door to get me in, and an invisibility spell to allow me to get to the chamber. And then I assume what I will do is try my plan to siphon Arcana, manipulate this and try the masked one, call upon him down there. Maybe once I tap into the power line, I can get that to him. And my backup plan is to use the rod to get out as my final Dimension Door. 500 feet range on the Dimension Door. I assume that's enough.
Okay. So you it sounds like you're sneaking out of the chamber that you're in.
Seems good.
And
Probably like 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that.
in the middle of the night, when it's dark, and you're probably going to get kind of close to either the entrance to the dungeon or close to that crater or the geyser, somewhere you can orient yourself and know which direction and what angle and stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is you're going to make an intelligence roll. It's just going to be an intelligence check. And this is like you kind of, doing the mental calculus to know like which angle and where to project your dimension door. Okay. If your dimension door would have you like in solid rock or something, it just kind of like spits you back out where you started.
I believe it fails and I just take damage. I will read it for you exactly. If you would arrive in a place already occupied by an object or creature, you and any creature traveling with you take 4d6 force damage, and the spell fails to teleport you.
Mm-hmm. So I got it. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I just rolled.
You draw Sombrous Onyx Bladed Greatsword. Slash through space as you enter straight forward. Make an intelligence check.
I rolled it as soon as you said what it was going to be, so the intelligence mod I have is +2. So that's a total of an 18.
18, okay. You step through, and you have appeared in the chamber that I previously described last session. It is a somewhat hexagonal-shaped chamber. To your back, there is a wide tunnel, a rough tunnel going through the rock, and you hear the rumbles of the geyser back behind you through the great tunnel. In this hexagonal chamber, you see large stony pedestals. You see, benches. Rows of areas where you would see rituals, or perhaps almost like a workshop, but in a very how can I say this? It doesn't seem to be a place where some high level of technology artificer workshop, none of those types of accoutrement, more of a primal or elemental look to it all. So think like glyphs, things, handmade out of stone. You also see at the opposite end, the far end, it opens up into a big chamber, some 100 feet in diameter. This is just like this giant crude cavity, and this standing gaunt titan, kind of all pulled up into itself, blackish skin, little licking tongues of blue flame running up it, and
the important thing: is anyone there?
Yeah, I was going to say the last thing is the room currently has 2 mephits in it, and they are they're lying on their backs on one of these long stony benches that are up against the kind of angled walls.
But they don't see me immediately as I pop in.
They seem to be. Maybe they're asleep. Like, you don't really think they actually sleep, but they don't move. They're just lying there.
Okay.
They don't disturb at all, even though it does make some noise, and it's magic spell and all.
Little magic. I look around immediately to see if I've been spotted. That's my first concern.
You don't see anyone else. You can make a perception check. Maybe someone's hiding and you didn't.
You never
know. Glance.
I'd rather not. That's only a plus only 2 on this character, so that's a total of 5. So I didn't get a good perception, but I think I'm safe. Okay.
You don't notice anyone. At the sides of the chamber, close to where it opens up into that giant cavity with Warsprand's corpse,
yes,
there are these 2 big stony furnaces, almost like a forge. Again, in this sort of primordial craftsmanship to them. The one to your left glows with this like intense hot flame, yellow to white hot, and the other one has this frosty mist, even like little wisps of it. When they might trace out next to you, you get a chill up your arm.
So it seems like there's two elemental sources here that are probably powering whatever this is. And those guys down there, maybe they are just giving little bits of themselves. Does it look like there's anything coming out of them in terms of like visual that I can see?
Well, I mean, the methods always have a little wispiness coming off of them, of their element, be it, a dust or a brumal haze or a little bit of smoke or fieriness. So nothing beyond that, nothing that indicates to you that there's nothing obvious. No.
No worries. I want to understand this before I figure out how to do my thing to siphon power. So,
one of them is a dust method, and the other one is a magma method. The two that are reclining here.
I'm going to ignore them for the moment, so long as I don't do anything that seems to upset them or alert them to my presence. I want to go to the frosty thing, the thing of frost, because ice fascinates me more than fire. Personally, I think it's more aligned with shadows and such, potentially. So, cold. I want to see if I can tap this with my arcane knowledge. Is there a way that I can use Sombrus to just siphon a little power off and then figure out maybe if I can do it on a larger scale?
Okay. You still have Sombrus in hand. You draw close. You kind of hold your blade up to this frost furnace. Make an Arcana check.
I'm trying to feel this out and see. Let's see. I haven't used this die yet. Let me try this one. Okay. That's Arcana 15.
Okay. So you attempt to work this magical device. You attempt to utilize your arcane knowledge to activate this device, manipulate it to your wants, and you quickly draw Sombrus back right before it is absorbed through the furnace itself, and you realize that anything that has gone through there has already gone into Vorstbrand himself.
So this is the input, not an output.
Yes.
All right, just need to figure out a way to reverse the flow. I'm gonna examine it for runes.
It does, yeah. It obviously has these sigils that are graven onto it, and they'll from time to time have a slight whitish blue frosty glow off of them, and fiery sigils on the hot furnace.
I'm looking for the sigil that's basically, I assume these are like a magical language that translate, hold and power and things. I'm looking for.
Do you speak Primordial? Are you fluent in that?
I do.
Oh, you do. Okay, yeah. So I mean, you look at the. Ah, yes, you do. Excellent. Okay, so you're looking at these sigils. They're in Primordial, and obviously it's not just in plain. What do I call this? Like layman's speech. It's written like in this stylized magical tongue.
Flip up my eye patch and look at it with the rune eye.
Yeah, you give it a look, and I mean it's clear to you that this is a highly ritualized elemental device, and it really feels more like a religion, almost like an altar to you, even though it's not a slab, but it has a highly austere and spiritual quality to it, and it's like here they make their offerings to the great frost Vorstbrand, the great frost fire.
Could I replace Vorstbrand's name with the masked one symbol? Sort of subjugate this and then unknowingly they'd be making spiritual offerings to him?
You're thinking about how you might do that when the two methods are perking up here.
Okay. I cast invisibility.
Okay, so they're sitting up. They're starting to look in your direction. You cast your spell, and they sit up. They're talking to each other. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm doing the voices wrong.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard it. Who was that?
I don't know. I've never heard a voice like that before.
I don't like it. It must be one of those magicians that came from the swamps. And they're coming off of the bench steps to your direction. They're looking around.
Sure.
And they'll, should we go tell so and so? Hold on, let's see if there's somebody here. I swear I just heard someone spell casting right there.
I remain completely still.
Mm-hmm. All right. So they look.
Aye, is somebody there?
Another one says in common,
Who come? Talk.
I don't reply.
They kind of shout out. They do a few taunts as well. They're like they call you coward and lesser beings and raiders, thieves.
I continue to pretend to not be there.
All right, so they loose some vulgarities and some slurs, and they're just they look at each other. Something's not right here, and they hurry away, and back in the other direction to probably go alert someone else.
Sure. I will then continue invisibly to try and figure out what I can do here with these runes. They seem like the key to it all.
Yeah. So you're looking at them and you're thinking, wow, you're not a enchanter or like a rune maker or any of these things that one might be. You've never done this before. You've never built magic items. The masked one is highly connected to magic items, being that he himself is a sentient artifact or maybe a collective of artifacts that's trying to reassemble itself. So he might be the one that would have the mastery in this area.
I will then use every bit of whatever I have to try and reach out to him once more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
he's my only hope here.
Yeah, here's what's on the line.
Yep.
You can retry that charisma religion check. I will even give you I'll give you advantage since you're in a like a magical location, a place of wondrous power. However, if you fail, you're going to get yourself into a very sticky situation.
I feel like, there's definitely got to be a risk. Maybe I lose some spell slots for a bit. I don't know. You figure it out. But yes, I'm willing to accept the risks.
Okay.
All right. Advantage, 2 dice.
Yep.
All right. Good thing I had advantage. I am looking at a 20. That is not natural.
Okay. From the shadows, a mask of onyx blackness appears. The devious grin plastered across it as always. Well, what do we have here?
Thank you for coming, Master. I have summoned you to the resting place of Warsor the Titan.
I heard your calling from afar. I was quite entangled, but you seemed to be expressing that this was of great import.
There's time, not much though.
Elementals?
Yes. There are 2 great sources of power here, fire and ice. They're feeding this Titan to reanimate him.
Yeah, then he angles his face and beholds the corpse of Warsor.
Oh, well, that's very interesting.
I thought you would want to know.
You must be in great danger where you are. Are you needing me to get you out?
I could make myself safe, but I'm putting myself in danger to give you this opportunity. If you have something that you wish me to do here, I will be willing to risk it.
Your loyalty is most abundant. What did you have in mind?
I was hoping that with your power you could somehow siphon some of this energy that was meant for Vorsbrand to yourself. We do not wish his return to be as greatly powered as what they have collected here, and such power could be put to better use in your hands, I feel.
He takes a moment. He glances at Vorsbrand, at the fruit, that the two elemental furnaces, back at you, and he says,
These mephits, they are your enemies.
I would say so, yes.
You must slay them entirely, or leave them alone. Do it all the way, or do it not at all. If you leave some of them lingering around, or if we siphon partial power, when Vorsbrand does come, well, we'll have one more enemy harrying us, and now he will only get stronger. This is the weakest you will ever see him.
Yes.
So strike now, slay your enemies, and slay them entirely. Cut the head off of the giant while it is still in the cradle, or get out of here.
Your wisdom does sound good to my ears. I believe now is not the time to strike without all my strength with me.
Where are your 3 allies?
Above, they slumber now to recover their spells and magics.
Loyal and brave. I like that. You and the other 3, do you think you could slay this one?
he eyes Vorsbrand.
I would be well willing to attempt it, if that is the desire of you.
Are there other foes about? This room seems empty.
I have used magic to conceal myself, as you can see. But they are coming.
They?
The mephits.
Mephits? How many?
I do not know exactly how many. I counted many dozen.
Dozens of mephits.
I believe that we could slay them all if that was...
I am a gambling fellow, but I like to play when the odds are to my favor. I don't think the Titan, even in his weakened state, and dozens of mephits would be a good bet to make.
Not on me alone, no.
No, not even with you and your allies with you.
I could summon the demons that you have given me the power. It would even the odds a bit, but still, I would want to do it on my terms.
Always.
Is there anything here that you can do that...
Can you bring your allies into this room? If I can delay the mephits.
You mean to cut the head off the Titan, as it were?
Yes.
I could bring not many with me. I could bring 2 others with me at the expense of all my magic ability. This would be after I restore all my magics. There is the one that you sent me before. The shadow one is touched by shadows.
Oh. Yes, yes. The Bazagonian.
Yes. If
We'll have to speak about him later, but I'm pleased that he found you.
he did. I believe he will be useful in such a fight, but...
So, you have 4 allies with you, in fact.
I do, and...
The odds are even better then.
If
you can find a way to bring your allies down here and slay this Titan, I will do what I can to distract the mephits.
There is a scroll. Don't we have a Dimension Door scroll? I believe the dwarf has it. Didn't the dimension door scroll?
Okay, so Orgrim Half-Grey has a scroll of Dimension Door. He also has a scroll of Invisibility, Blur, and Comprehend Languages.
Well, Dimension
He also
Door
has an Emerald Elemental Gem that can summon an Earth Elemental.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna head. There's no point to me staying here if the masked one can do something to help delay the methods. My concern is I would want to do it once my allies have their spells back. I don't know if they've regained their spells yet.
Mm-hmm.
If they have, then we could do it. Like I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to go all out. But otherwise, I would not want the masked one to use his power needlessly when we could just come back in the morning once they have their spells.
It would seem time is of the essence.
You hear the sound of flapping, a great number of flapping little wings and Mephit voices approaching.
All right.
Echoing through the great tunnel.
I will go now and see if my allies have regained their strength and do what I can. If it is with us, then we'll return. If luck is with us. All right, I will dimension
Try
door
not
out.
to get yourself killed.
I always endeavor not to do so.
I'll be around. This is actually more interesting than what I was doing before.
I can imagine. I dimension door out. I cut my way back to the surface, right up to the tent.
Okay, you splash through, and you reappear in the at the surface. There's two Mephits that seem to be engaged in a form of fornication that you do not think would function for normal human beings, and they look at you like wow as you like appear out of thin air, and they scamper off to go finish their deed elsewhere.
All right. I don't know how much. Well, wait. I became visible again once I dimension doored.
Yeah.
So I run over to the tent. Is people still sleeping?
Okay, so you kind of go inside of the old temple here, and like through a corridor and back to this chamber, this kind of like rundown chamber where your allies are in various states of snoozing.
Yeah.
Orgrim's mumbling something to himself.
I'm gonna shake Lykar awake first.
Crocodile.
Crocodiles. That's right.
Oh god.
Hey, Lykar, wake up.
What is it?
So I do not mean to disturb your rest, but have your magics recharged? Have you your strength back yet?
Well, have we been resting long enough?
That's a good question.
It's about halfway through a long rest, about 4 hours.
Damn.
I can feel them returning, but they haven't quite returned yet.
There's an opportunity. We might be able to destroy Vorstbrand if we would go now, but my strength is at its weakest as well. And I fear that you and Kivish have not had time to sufficiently restore yours. Were we to go, we would be quite weak, although we would be able to face the Titan alone. For time, without the methods involvement.
We would be at great disadvantage without my bigger spells.
Yes, it is foolish, but I cannot think of any other way to recharge our magics quicker. 4 hours.
All right, so let's kind of like group consensus here. It seems like what we have at stake is you can attack and try to kill this Titan now, and the masked one is going to distract those Mephits, to the best of his ability. So that should stave them off. But it's risky.
Yeah.
What does everyone think about this risk? Is it something that you're willing to take? Is it worth it to you?
It has been basically 2 sessions since the long rest, so my spells are also
pretty depleted.
I've got very little left.
It's just too stupid. I can't push the party into this.
I mean,
Well,
Orgrim
It's not
still
for-
has his 3rd level slots. He has 3 3rd level slots and 2 1st level slots. And he has the Scroll of Dimension Door, the Scroll of Invisibility, the Scroll of Blur, the Elemental Gem. He also has a Greater Healing Potion.
we have a bunch of healing potions. My concern is that we are casters primarily and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
All of our levels would be halved effectively without our spells.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got some tricks up my sleeve, but if I go down there picking people, I'm gonna have no spell slots.
Mm-hmm.
So for me as a player, I don't know. I could definitely be talked into this. Or Kivish as a character, he could also be talked into this, but like
we need a good
initially he's gonna say, "What are you doing? Why would we kill this thing that we don't even fully understand yet?"
Because it's our enemy. In theory.
Yeah. But right. I mean, it's a good point. Like, why is it your enemy? Why do you want to kill it? What's worth risking all this for?
Which, I mean, is why I guess I broke up Lykar first. I wanted to offer him this choice and let him think about it. Like,
out
is this thing...
Yeah. Out of character, yeah. Let's, while it's sleeping, dip its hand in a bowl of warm water and cut its head off.
Yeah. I mean, let me put it to you this way also. If we succeed here, not only do we remove a potential enemy, I'm sure there's power in it for us.
Again, out of character, precisely.
Yeah.
In character, Kivish is not going to be thinking that way, at least immediately.
Oh no, I'd put it that way to Lykar. Like, just, you get
it's a high risk situation, and at the moment, the only reward just seems to be like power.
Yeah,
which is that's a strong motivator, but is it worth it? Just go for power alone.
Drake would not go for it. With him, he has no problem going into a fight. And he knows not to go into a fight that's you're not going to walk out of it.
Yeah,
you do saying yourself that there's no honor.
Yep. Okay.
So he will back out no matter what. He will fight you guys on trying to get in there.
Right.
He's no point just going in for power and no honor return. That's not what's up to him.
Excellent. So it doesn't align with his character. Orgrim is gonna like have Lykar's back because Lykar saved him. Orgrim, he's not really too keen on this whole Omen Mox thing at all, but he'll have Lykar's back if push comes to shove.
So in the land of dreams and nightmares, where the endless cycle of the dreams creates and destroys and governs a great deal of reality, Kivish is currently asleep. He has talked to the god of dreams before, and his greatest, staunchest, oldest ally is one of a sort of dream-associated fae nature herself. Does Kivish have any interesting dreams tonight?
I say go back to bed, basically, yeah.
So, he has 2. The first, you find yourself in a field of golden grass and beautiful wildflowers. Indeed, you have seen this place before. It is the realm of Morpheus, that great ambrosial lord, majestic god of dreams and healing, a peaceful sort after a fashion. And he is in the field, and he is weeping. And he says, just into the wind, into the waving grasses and flowers, why did you let me down? He hangs his head low. Again they have taken my temple.
Well, that's not good. There's nothing we really could have done about that, but that's not good.
There was a little something about arranging a new temple guardian.
Yeah, that was an outstanding, long-running mission that we were all doing.
No, not everyone. You made the promise.
Yeah, and have every intention to fulfill it.
The second dream is more interactive. You find yourself in like a big fey cave, like an under the hill cave with roots coming down off the ceiling and little glittering, little glints of stone off the ceiling reflecting on a pool. The shores of this underground pool lapping up against your dwarven toes. And Marexa, your lithe, strange, undying, whatever she is, she comes up to you out of the waters, does a little flitting around.
What's that I smell? That's not my scent.
Who is she, Kivish?
Who is who?
Smells like burning.
That was a clever ruse.
And why would you be allured by such a ruse?
To find a way through a door.
A way through a door, huh?
She sniffs your nethers. And kind of like, okay, well, at least you don't smell burnt down there.
Always you are thinking of that. I swear, sometimes I wonder if you are indeed centuries old, if you are a child at heart.
Well, what's the point of living forever if you're not having fun? Where are you, Kivish? They're gonna be at Dirge Caverns soon. They need you.
I will be there. But first,
I have a bad feeling about this battle, Kivish.
I need to know if the one of frost and fire is to be reborn, or if the dreams do not hold it as truth.
He should not be. He should not be. He should not be reborn, and he should not be at all. His cycle completed, and the new ones were born. Yes, they weren't exactly what he wanted, but it's what happened. He needs to let it lie. He needs to rest. His spirit needs to disperse into the elements. If you want to be the one to take up the responsibility of keeping this balance at equilibrium, do it then. But why now? I have a bad feeling about this battle, Kivish.
If you had the power to do it, would you do it?
She avoids the question. She dances around the question. She goes off about like, why would you? That's an unfair question, and you're just asking me that because, I've been, getting jealous, and she is like skirts all around the question and never gives you a straight answer. And she basically, says like, I've had these dreams about, skeleton dwarves, tumbling out of dirge caverns and strange guttural howls from there. She said that she had a dream of an army of skeletons that were standing on each other's shoulders and like stacking around, waiting to fall upon the host of Norgal's Rock. And she says she has a very bad feeling about Dirge Caverns. She says that the
fate of many, many lives hangs on a very delicate and narrow balance here. They're going to need you. I don't know what, but you better do something good. And you better not die!
I will be at Dirge Caverns.
And don't get turned into a zombie or a skeleton or anything like that.
In 2 days. And I will do as the dreams have told as truth.
Yes. Dead things should stay dead.
He will let that fade if he has any control over it now.
That's about the end of the dream session there. So
For some reason,
some troubles in the land of Morpheus. And and the near future fate is pretty uncertain. You get an overwhelming sense that what you all do, the decisions you make, are going to have major impacts on how this battle plays out.
Yep. So with everything that's happened, we're definitely resting the full night. We're not going down there right away. That's a given. In the morning, I will ask everyone one more time, even if we have to fight the methods and such, we could go. I could direct you to the chamber of Vorstrand, and we could go in and we could fight them with most of our magics. That's up to you guys if that's a risk you want to take. I'm offering it again, one final time.
Yeah, the Vorstrand thing, I don't think there's enough support for it.
I agree. Out of game.
The general vibe I'm getting is that there's not enough support. It is tempting. It's a lot of power, but it's too risky, and there's not quite enough motivation. There's some characters that
the risk for it's just too. To him, it's suicide.
It seems like a situation for a character is like, my ideal is power, and I will take all kinds of risks. And that's not everybody in the party here.
I had to offer it in character. Out of character, I'm on the same page.
Yep. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to go up some milestones, and I think we should cut to like a totally new scene.
Dirge Cavern seems like
yep.
Supposed to go.
All right. Where are we at? I'm going to give one milestone to Kivish, one milestone to Drake. I'll give 1.5 to Nox, and I'll give 2 to Lykar.
Ooh.
He might have just dinged for a level, not quite.
I'm at 9.5.
Yeah.
Are you really? Okay, excellent.
I'm slowly
Vince, just let you know, once you've achieved 10 milestones, your character needs to take a long rest. Reflect upon everything that's happened. He might have some new skills or like abilities that are opening up, and we can talk about those real quick, or maybe even do like a tiny little role play sequence that kind of shows them manifesting through your character, and it's a good time.
Awesome.
All right, so the party gets the hell out of Omen Mox. Tensions are rising. Word is spreading that you all have been tampering down with the underground. The surface dwellers, even though they're kind of like butt heads with the old ones below, they still occupy the same place, and they're all still technically the same method group. And you're getting this feeling like, oh man, are they all going to turn on us here? You get the sense that things are about to go downhill fast, and you're like, well, let's get out of here now. Like, we best just, get the hell out of Dodge. So,
we'll come back one day.
So you guys hit the trail. You get out of Omen Mox before things get worse, and you head back into the swamps, I believe.
I'm happy that I at least tried to siphon power. Even if it wasn't.
There's still some unknowns with Omen Mox. There's still like some kind of like mysteries, or maybe some information's held within there having to do with the realm of Drekengrim, maybe a bit with Lykar. But it was an interesting excursion for what it was.
Yeah. Well, we can always revisit it.
I'm just saying, we'll be on my ship if we're ever swinging by this area again. We can always make a stop.
Mm. All right, so mental note for future possibilities at Omen Mox. On to Dirge Caverns. The party travels during one day through the swamps here. The journey is a pleasant one. The weather's not too bad. There's some chilly breezes here and there, but for the most part, it's the weather stays mild. You don't come across monsters or anything, any nasty hazards traipsing through the marshland here. Steer clear of the deep bogs. You're going to be coming up on Dirge Caverns. This big rocky, it's one of the tors, so it'd be Dirge Tor, but it's mainly known for the cavern network that's inside of it. Also, this is the home of the Axewort clan. and Kivish can fill you in a little bit on this. So right now there are these 3 great clans of Norgal's Rock. The three major dwarven clans. There is Mithrilian, Alder, and Halfgrey. The original 3 great clans there were actually Mithrilian, Axewort, and Rockjaw. Axewort and Rockjaw were feuded for forever. They feuded for generations and generations, mainly because Rockjaws actually were mountain dwarves that settled here, and Axewort were true true-blooded swamp dwarves. And one thing led to another. Eventually, there was the war with the Mer Queen, and the Axeworts. They didn't want to go fight against the Mer Queen, and then Rockjaws, called them cowards and betrayers, and accused them of wanting to side with the Mer Queen. So they had kind of a big fight. Mithrilian tried to arbitrate, but it just it wasn't enough. After the big fight happened, Rockjaw went back to live in the mountains, kind of north of the Silver Citadel, and the clan Axewort went to go live here at Dirge Caverns. Well, now they're not the only ones that live there. There is the Swamp Queen, this kind of like eccentric dwarven swamp sorceress woman who apparently has now sided with the Mer Queen, so she's involved with necromantic stuff. You've also heard that there are some whites that lived there, or I guess we should say dwelt there. So there's a few different things going on at Dirge Caverns. The host of Norgal's Rock, which is a small army, is marching from the west. They're going to be arriving here. Your party is now at the eastern, kind of an east by southeast outskirts of Dirge Tor. You can see it rising up out of the swamps ahead of you. I'll give everyone a perception check just to kind of glance over the area.
17.
12.
Okay, I heard a 17, a 12.
Got a 6.
6.
Well, I do not do it. I got a 1 on the die, so that's a total of 7.
7. Okay.
So
everyone sees the Tor rising up out of the swamps in the distance. On the eastern slopes of this great rocky crag, you do see there's a settlement. It looks like they have some kind of wall that's it's like a basic town wall or curtain wall protecting the settlement there on the eastern slopes. And this settlement's called Bleeding Heart. It's kind of a village of Clan Axewort. Part of it's outside, and then you imagine that they have some chambers inside as well. The dwarves, after all. Who got that 17?
I did.
Was that Nox? Okay.
Yep.
Nox, you do not see in the distance the host of Norgal's Rock yet. They're supposed to be arriving soon. If they are, if they're making good time, you have like a whole day. You're here a whole day ahead of them.
Okay.
That wall. You get a closer look. Everyone just thought it was like this kind of whitewashed stone wall, but as you look closer at a distance, it is actually a wall of bone.
I knew it.
Yeah, there's a wall of bones surrounding this this kind of slope settlement here on the eastern side.
Sounds like the perfect.
About how big is the settlement? Out of curiosity.
It's not large.
Okay.
You probably call it a village. I can give you.
The reason I'm asking is because if it's depending on the size, Drake's gonna freak out with it. All right, if it's too big,
Gotcha.
That's why I just need to know if I need to have him start freaking out.
Nope. Hold on to your freakouts.
Okay.
you'd say like, in width, it's maybe 500-600 feet across.
Okay, no, yeah, he'll be perfectly fine.
And it also kind of like goes up the slopes, a few levels of the slopes, rising up, maybe the highest point 100 feet up off of the ground level, and then the rocky, steep portion of the crag goes up higher than that. And Nox, yeah, you're seeing, all manner of bone, even here and there, some skeletal arms that are just kind of like dangling down like this on the face of this wall. It looks to be about 20 feet high.
I would hazard a guess that a necromancer lives there. That is a wall of bone, gentlemen.
How far from the wall am I? Is Drake?
Mm-hmm. You guys are definitely in the distance, just kind of whatever the max seeing distance is here, maybe half a mile.
Okay. All right, there goes my ideas.
You wanted to get close enough to scout.
Say that again.
Yeah, I was hoping that I was close. Drake was close enough that he could shadow step. And
do you see any figures walking
along? This is just what you're kind of seeing at a distance. The first real, look you have at this hill. When you first all can see it there. It's currently daytime. It's like morning. Like you woke up. Broke down your camp, packed up your bags, and went back off trekking, and just like an hour or two later, you've arrived here. So it's kind of like more late morning at the moment.
I would not make a wall of bones. They do not take weather as well as stones and mortar. It is a strange one who makes walls of bones.
All right, take a good hammer to them. That wall will be coming down quickly. Even my staff will crack one.
He has a nice strong wizardly quarterstaff in hand.
That wall may be necromantically animate or enhanced. One should not underestimate the powers that those rot trolls, whoever made them.
Okay, so we're dealing with more than just a heaped up lot of bones. Very well, what are they going to do? Nibble on us? Scratch at us?
For all we know, they might come alive and become giants of bone golems, or other such creatures. One should not underestimate it, is all I'm saying. I think we should look for a way in. Perhaps the village might hold opportunities.
So I'm going to roll a history check for Orgrim here, what he knows about the layout of Dirge Caverns. He's not sure. He knows that there's this settlement called Bleeding Heart, where the clan Axewort dwells, and there's caves inside.
Adam,
he doesn't know anything about the layout.
You're a native of these lands. Maybe you know something?
Indeed. I'm trying to think here. So, I mean, I guess obviously it boils down to a history check, but what in particular? So, how long ago actually did Clan Axewort settle here? It was after the war with the Merqueen and all, but
maybe 80 years ago or so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they've been here for like a generation or two,
mm-hmm.
And the whole Swamp Queen business is more recent.
Yes, yeah. Okay. From what you know, the Swamp Queen had her own lair, like literally out in the swamps.
Right. Okay.
She kind of had like her own little posse, and she was just this eccentric kind of swamp witch.
Right.
And in recent times, one of her long-standing enemies, the moss beards. It's this group of druids that live in the Weeping Woods. They tried to assassinate her. They sent this like a primal snake, and the snake like bit her. She got poisoned by it. She almost died. She lost a breast and a foot or a leg, and she got like real twisted and cruel after that. Aligned with the Mer Queen Amarantha, the plague of Dreckengrim, and now is involved with necromantic stuff. And apparently, she is the one that made these rot trolls. She allied with those the Hydra lizard folk and the Stungvela troll clan.
Right. Okay.
In your dream, Kivish, the dream that you had of those skeletal dwarves, marching and just like rolling out, you saw them coming out of a cave mouth. Now, maybe that was just symbolic, or maybe there is actually a cave mouth here. You didn't have a view in this dream. You weren't seeing dwarven buildings or constructed settlements.
Right. When you emphasize cave mouth, do you mean the mouth of a cave, or do you mean like an actual cave carved to resemble a mouth?
Sure. It did look like a natural cave mouth.
Okay. Alright. Well, this is the place, and whether or not we are to find something inside, well, I think we are.
Orgrim strokes his beard.
Well,
if we can find a way to take down some of their numbers from inside, then meet with our army in the west, that would be a devastating blow and would only further ensure our victory in battle.
I have a plan, if you will. Humor me.
It's good to have a plan.
Vince, what's your character's name? I wrote it down.
Drake.
Drake, that's right. Drake, tell me, I witnessed before your ability to step through shadows. That is not a magic spell, is it?
It is not. This one is trained to do this. This one can move 60 feet.
That is a very powerful ability, since it is not casting a spell of magic.
This one agrees, but this one has a quick question. This one wonders, why are we here? I honestly, actually, out of character, do not know why we're here.
Yep.
So
we have not explained this to you because you have only recently joined us, but there is a villain here, a swamp queen, who seeks to ally with the Mer Queen and seeks to bring destruction to Norgal's Rock. Norgal's Rock, you are not from these lands. That is where the swamp dwarves, where Kivish and
Orgrim
come from. And their council of dwarves have decided that it is time to end the threat of the Swamp Queen once and for all. Even now, their army marches on their way here to fight and destroy Mer Queen and her servants. She has made many necromantic minions, including trolls that are cursed with some form of necromancy and such. Speaking of, how do you feel?
Well, let's not jump to conclusion. We don't know that the Swamp Queen is allied with Amarantha.
He looks around at saying the name.
We don't know that she's allied with Amarantha after all.
Why don't you say the Mer Queen?
I'll be dead before I see Clen Axwort and that witch take over Dens Morris.
Yes. Well, ultimately, we are here to assist in the battle to kill the Swamp Queen and her necromantic minions. How do you feel about necromancy, though, Drake?
See, that's the thing. I was trying to look up at the stuff you sent, Esper, on Dinosi, and he doesn't look like he has a stance on it. So I'm not sure where the temples would be.
Mm-hmm.
On that side.
I mean, in general, like in the most broadest of terms worldwide, necromancy is seen as this kind of like evil, dark thing.
Oh yeah, but
however, in Drekingrim, things are a bit different. It's kind of a creepier land too. In fact, the Silver Citadel, which is like the High Council of Mages, has an archmage of each school of magic. And one of them is a necromancer who has an undead army that he has actually used to fight against the Merqueen's army. So, but you're not from Drekingrim. So, in Bazagon, where you're from, necromancy is pretty taboo, as it is in most places in the world.
So you would see it as a taboo.
Yeah. You like the only thing that you know of is there's this one faction in Bazagon called Malesis.
The Malesis.
Yeah, Malesis, and they have to do with the forces of life and death. So you know that they have some very specific things that they'll do, but they don't like keep undead servants or that's the closest kind of necromancy that you know of, is they'll do things working with the forces of life and death, but they don't have,
okay, so
they don't have a zombie army or do anything like that.
All right, so from the basic terms, Drake would see it as a taboo. For the most part, it would be a taboo to him.
Yeah.
To even okay, so it would be a taboo to have an army at most, but just to study it, I think it sounds like he wouldn't have a much care for it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so Drake probably says something to the effect of like, you must be very careful when you're tampering with the forces of life and death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I completely agree. One should take great cares when tampering with such forces. I merely ask because
Can't say necromancy appeals to me in the least. Why do I want to mess around with dead things?
Necromancy is just another form of magic, such as evocation, divination. Just a different form. Lykar, basically.
Say that after you see your dead grandmother climbing up a mountain with a knife in her teeth.
Lykar basically just sees necromancy as just another form of magic, and it's just the way it is, the way of the world.
So yeah, there's some different perspectives out there, but what is known right now is that there's going to be a big fight for control of this swampland here. And Vince, this is the homeland of Kivish and Orgrim.
All right, so
going to explain my plan, but
I apologize. I'm trying to catch up with the rest of you guys, at least story-wise.
You have not absorbed months and months of lore and
no, not yet. I sleep on it. I do, but it hasn't shifted into my brain. Hold on, I gotta mute. There's a phone call coming.
Okay. All right. So I mean, there's this basic plan. Let's find a way to slip in here, take out enemies, in groups. Just do it kind of, straight up adventurer style, dungeon delving style, and then meet up with the army later, and hopefully the battle will go well. Does anyone else have any ideas, any other plans, or
Well, I never got to say my plan, Esper.
Okay.
My plan was to have him use his abilities after we got sidetracked. Invisibility will not break a use of his ability. It's not a spell.
Mm-hmm.
You could scout out past the wall, count their numbers, see where they're positioned, and once we have that information, I say we just do what we did with the lizardmen.
Mm-hmm. It does seem very potent, yes. Though, do remember he has to step between shadows of darkness. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So let me read it real quickly so that way we all know what we're doing with it.
If I may, I'm not simply saying he should use nothing but his shadow jump. He could climb a 20-foot wall, I presume.
I can.
As long as he begins and ends in the darker area, he can teleport 60 feet.
Yeah. So it's either in dim light or darkness. As a bonus action, I can teleport up to 60 feet in an unoccupied space that I can see. And with the climb,
I'm very familiar with the ability.
That's some number one.
No, I can't climb until 9th level.
I mean,
I
you can attempt to climb.
Yeah, I can do
just
a-
like in a
average one, but I can't run up something.
right. You don't have like a monk climb power unlocked yet, but anyone can attempt to climb stuff. It's
So
just
I
a
do
matter
have
of
slow fall,
skill
which is
and
good
luck.
for getting back down. So I can just jump off of it and slow fall.
Yeah, that does come in handy.
I guess
So at the moment it's broad daylight. I mean, do you want to wait all this time, like kill the whole day and just wait till nighttime?
How long until the attack is going to happen?
Tomorrow. Yep. So it seems like you're going to have a whole day to do what you need to do, a long rest, and then tomorrow is going to be the actual battle.
This one cannot do it now. This one sees too much light. This one does not see enough shadow for this one to step through. This one believes we need to wait. This one says even at night might be better.
I hear what you're saying. But if you do not wish to scout, that is fine. I say we attack and test their defenses. If we cannot scout them, we can at least see and then withdraw once we have met.
This one does not say this one did not want to scout. This one just said this one cannot scout now.
Can you send that bird of yours to take a look at the area, and then Kivish talk to the bird?
This one can, but this one does not know if it knows it.
I can't go to the bird.
The bird, I don't think is trained well enough for the understand to go scout out the area and report back.
The bird's still young, and there's also
it's a little too young.
You've never let it go far away into a dangerous area.
Yeah,
if something happens to it. Okay, so the falcon's not at the moment. So Orgrim's kind of like looking over his spell book. He's kind of thinking like, what do I have?
That is actually a good question, though. Have we seen any kind of animals that are going into and out of the tour? Like, routinely.
Yeah. What's the wildlife looking like in this area?
Because I can talk to animals, at least via a spell or two.
And I do have animal handling.
Okay. Okay, cool. You have not noticed anything different about the wildlife here. It seems to be as normal. There's all the bugs and little muskrats and crows and
I am training to cast the spell Scry. It is a good one, but I have not yet mastered it.
Honestly, while shadows are useful for scouting, I have no fear of what is over there. I would say that we simply do as we do. We are powerful mages, and our new friend Drake seems to have his own abilities. If we must approach, then let us approach from an angle that is perhaps not the front gate and test the defense. See if we can break the wall. See if we can kill some of the defenders. The army will show when they show.
Aye.
And we have ways to escape should we need to.
You, Noxiqual, would not knock on the front gates. I am so surprised.
Kivish.
This one says if we go and fight. This one believes we should attack from the flank.
To follow that though, actually, a question I was meaning to ask earlier. So how good is my knowledge of local topography, and if there might actually be like a particularly opportune other entrance to the cave itself?
I think it would be good to roll a check on that. Roll a history check.
All right.
And that'll give us that answer.
Find that side door.
Oh, Pete Steele, you only gave me a 9. That's History, that becomes a 10.
10.
So, not great.
You know no more than Orgrim Halfgrey here. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go take a look.
We are waiting for the army to show up before we attack.
Yes, of course we are. But we're going to bugger them up the behind before the army gets here.
Agreed. If nothing else, we can warn the army of any obvious things that they do.
This one says hit and run. This one says guerrilla war.
I am a fan of those tactics myself. Let's close the distance. Let's approach.
So the party's going to skirt around?
Yeah, let's come out.
Instead of heading straight on to the settlement, do a loop around to arrive like on the other side?
Northeast, yeah. Seems good.
Okay. You can all make stealth checks. Sounds like you're trying to be undetected.
Let's see.
26 for me.
Not my night.
Okay. 26.
Even with disadvantage, I have a 14.
14.
I have a 19.
I got a rock. 7.
And
Yeah, tonight is apparently not my night dice-wise.
Okay.
Saving it up.
Clearly, hopefully.
All right. So you all you're skirting around, trying to be undetected. You've curved around a way. You're going through marsh terrain. It's not like just nasty deep water and muddy bog, but it's marsh. So think wet stuff, sedges, rushes, variations, but a lot of like lower drops. And you have been spotted by a scouting party of Clan Axewort.
Gee, I wonder whose fault that could be.
Do we spot them as they spot us?
Yep, it's a simultaneous thing.
I'm curious to see their reaction before I unleash all hell.
All right. Give me a moment here.
Like, they want to talk.
Can we see how many are in the party?
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I gotta pull up a thing.
All right. No, I wasn't sure if you had that on.
Okay. You see there are 5 of them. They are dwarven soldiers, full-on soldiers. You see 4 of them are wearing chain shirts, and they have heavy crossbows. Actually, 2 of them have heavy crossbows. 2 of them have halberds. The 5th one has a bit better of looking equipment. He's wearing scale armor. He has a shield and looks like he could draw either a sword or javelin. They spot you at the same time as you spot them. You are at a distance of 80 feet with marsh terrain in between each other. But there's lots of like little natural mounds, rocks, trees, brush. There's a whole bunch of difficult terrain and stuff that could be used for cover and hiding and such. So yeah, you're basically like, trying to curve around this the muddy hill, and like Kivish like slips and like goes tumbling down and he gets himself up like, oh shit. And Tynan's like little pony neigh out of worry for his master, and like right there, these dwarven soldiers lock onto you.
Freaking
who goes there?
Old ones, damn it.
We are scouts. Kivish puts on a bad accent.
You're scouts? From Nogle's Rock, up here.
We are Axwort scouts. The chieftain sent us out here to scout these lands to see if there was
Orgrim
anything wrong.
I'm no cursed spittle-licking Axwort. He said, I'm proud Orgrim Half-Grey of the Emerald Mages of Norgle's Rock.
Orgrim, if we get out of this alive, I'll kill you myself.
Your clan
This
should
one will
have
beat you
fallen long
to it.
ago, and we're here to finish the job.
How many
He's
of them
getting
did
red
you
in the
say?
face. You can tell he's all worked up seeing his long-standing rivals.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to have a hard time doing that with a crossbow bolt sticking out of your fat belly.
I'm going to roll this one for initiative, hoping it'll roll higher.
All right. Go ahead and roll up some initiative.
Alright. Cool. That's pretty decent. I have a 15 on initiative.
Oh, we're just going straight to initiative? Alright.
Well, I mean,
Oh, that's fine.
Kivish did try something, but Orgrim.
I'm thinking we're gonna be fighting here.
No, no, it's fine. You said there were 4 of them, or?
5.
5.
Thank you.
4 with chain and 1 with scale armor, I believe.
4 have chain shirts, 2 heavy crossbows, and 2 halberds, and then there's 1 with nice-looking scale mail, a shield, and a sword and javelins.
No
Okay.
Initiative 13, whenever you're ready.
Okay, Lykar has a 17.
Nice.
Drake got a 6.
I feel like try not to blow through our most powerful stuff. This is just a scouting party. Hopefully we don't need to take a full long rest after this encounter.
Okay. Okay, who has the highest initiative?
Anyone have higher than 15?
I had 17.
Okay, 17 Lykar, 15 Kivish.
15? Yep.
What's your dexterity score?
Score itself is either 13 or 14. It's 14.
Okay. After 15? 14, 13, 12, 11, 10.
13.
All right. 13 Nox and Drake.
6. 6. He rolled a nat 1.
Womp womp. All right. Drake. All right. Lykar. You can act first. What do you think of this? The dwarves are like spitting at each other here, threatening one another. They look like they're about ready to make violence.
Lykar stabs his fingers and they die.
I'm through trying to negotiate with people. Last time they almost got me killed.
Lykar feels his heart harden.
I'm just going to. Are they all like kind of together?
They are.
Oh.
Okay. Well, then they are just going to get smoked.
Oh shit.
They are together. They have 3/4 cover, though.
It may not matter for what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna blast them with a fireball.
Oh jeez. Well, we'll see how much overkill this is.
All right. Lykar casts his fireball. Sounds like you're kind of like sending it like above their head so it can blast down onto them. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they've got like, these like swampy, mud or rocks or, logs and stuff in front of them. That's giving them a lot of blockages. Like their heads are popped up and they got like crossbows out. And this fire just down from above. Go ahead and roll up the damage.
That escalated quickly.
All right, so that is, what is it, 86?
86.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 dice. Let me make some room here so they don't go flying. All right, so we got 5, 9, 13, 17, 20, 22, 24, 27.
27? Okay. And I'm just going to go down the line. First, we'll do like the commander guy. He's got a 7. This is the dexterity saving throws. Okay, some crossbow guys. 6 and 7. And we've got the 2 halberdiers. We got us another 7 and a 14. Are those all fails?
What's my DC is 14.
Your DC is 14? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So 1 halberdier saved, rest failed.
Is your charisma mod only +3?
Charisma is +3, 17.
Okay, yeah, that's a DC.
All right. 3 of the dwarves shriek, and their skin like blisters and scorches, and they fall to the ground with a nasty wisp of smoke coming off of them. One of them like ducks, like kind of rolls out of the way at the last moment, but he still gets singed. The commander one, he like raises his shield, but it doesn't help him that much. He gets singed pretty badly. They're like choking and coughing and screaming, and the whole thing just kind of turns into chaos. Kivish.
So I'm hearing that they're all standing within a 20-foot square of each other.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. So Kivish pulls out his nymph carved of rosewood with black pearls for eyes, i.e. his druidic focus, and is going to do something familiar that he's done before, and is going to gesticulate and incantate, or incant. What's the
incant
verb of incantation? He is going to do that and cause vines, grasping weeds and vines, and I quote from the book, to sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square starting from a point within range. This is the spell Entangle.
Okay. You can't see the ground because they're behind that cover.
Isn't it an area effect though?
It is.
What you can do is you can attempt an athletics check to hurry up and climb and run and jump to an area where you can get a good look at it. If you fail, you'll probably kind of bust your ass and you probably won't have much more to do.
All right, fair enough. It's a good thing I'm not horrible at athletics, and I also rolled a 17 on the die, so it probably did at least decently.
Excellent. Okay, so you run up a slope and jump off of it and land on this fallen log and climb to the top of it, and you get this angle where you can see down. You chant with your totem in hand, and the roots and grasping vines sprout out of the ground. Sounds like a dexterity saving throw once again. With the commander guy with a 9, and the 1 remaining halberdier with a 17.
Halberdier probably makes it.
Yeah, I think the halberdier survived. That is a hero halberdier.
17 on that, you said?
Yep.
Okay, but the others all got lower than that. Yeah, he definitely made it.
Okay, so the one he escapes. It's an area of difficult terrain now, and then the commander's grasped up. Is he restrained or just grabbed?
They are restrained.
Restrained. Okay.
It takes his
so it is the one halberdier's turn. I'm gonna roll a wisdom saving throw just kind of for a morale thing. I'll probably give him a pretty high DC here. Yeah, he is shrieking and he is running away through the swamp.
Very far.
Commander is cursing, with just his freaking he's probably spitting out chunks of vine, he's trying to bite through it and rip his way free. He makes a strength saving throw.
I believe.
Athletics check. He's got a 15. Is that your DC?
Adam.
What's Kivish's spell DC?
Oh yeah, 14.
Okay, so he rips free, and he pulls himself free, actually heading towards your party, with spitting out curses as he's going here. It's kind of difficult terrain, so he maybe makes it part way through that area, or maybe it's a 20-foot cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So he like just makes it out of the grasping vines. It is Noxiqual's turn.
I have a question and I can't remember it now.
Okay. He's like 70 feet away from you at the moment.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
yes.
let that guy escape.
Yeah, no. I say I want the commander alive. Knock him out if you have to. And then I point my sword at the fleeing one and whisper words, and blackness just kind of like circles around its length and shoots out Eldritch Blast towards this guy.
Okay, a shard of blackness flies through the air. It's kind of a difficult shot, but go ahead and take that attack.
Yeah, I gotcha. So 2 blasts. Let me see if either of those hit. A 14 and a 19.
Nope. The dark shards ricochet off of the the difficult cover between you and the target. Do you get closer to him, or do you stay where you are?
Yeah, I'm gonna move forward because that way I'll give myself better chances to continue hitting him. I'm also looking for the best angle to stay on the high ground so that I can have the best view to him.
Okay, so yeah, you get to a position that helps you there to kind of be looking down upon him. Not too hard to do. He's actively struggling to get up towards you all. Orgrim does basically the same thing. Positions himself kind of like what you do. He is going to draw out that wand of his and shoot a firebolt. Okay, he's got a plus. He hits with the firebolt.
How far away is this guy?
70.
Let's see. So you move. It's kind of like difficult terrain. So 55 feet away.
Well, he should still just give up. You have the high ground.
I mean,
okay. The flame just kind of like barely grazes him. Only does 4 fire damage off Orgrim's firebolt. Drake. I rolled low on the damage.
Okay.
You've got this commander guy is 70 feet away from you. This is mucky, difficult swamp terrain. There's another guy that's fleeing, so he is 105 feet away. You can just kind of like barely see him through through the brush and the uneven mounds and stuff.
All right, and we got told to take the commander alive. Okay. What is the lighting like?
Broad daylight.
Okay, so there's no shadows.
I mean, there would be some shadows somewhere.
Are there any shadows
crawl inside of a fallen log or something? What's that?
Are there any shadows right next to me?
Okay. No, I mean, it's just like outside terrain on a pleasant day.
Okay. All right, there goes that idea. Is there any within, because it's difficult to train, so any within 20 feet of me?
No, the commander guy's 70 feet away.
No, are there any shadows within, moving towards him within 20 feet of me?
You're not really going to find the shadows that you need here, just out in the open and broad daylight.
Okay.
I think during the day outside, the only real like dark, maybe is if you're in like a really thick forest.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was hoping there'd be some sort of shadow that I could
thick
step
canopy
into.
that like blocks out. Yeah.
Because I can't step into my own, so I was hoping I could step into something else and then step out of his.
So are you wanting to hang back and be defensive, or are you going to like approach and get offensive?
I think I'm gonna approach. I'm gonna just approach and hope and try to get.
Okay. Do you have a ranged attack?
I got the shurikens. I gotta look up the throwing distance though on that because it's a round weapon.
Okay, so your speed is probably like 40 feet or something as a monk.
It's 40 feet currently.
Okay, so half that's 20. So you're like 50 feet away from this guy. You throw your shurikens. It's a bit of
I'm gonna have disadvantage.
Yeah, bit of a difficult shot. Go ahead and roll disadvantage. Let's see what happens.
That's with Dex, I believe.
Yeah.
11. Oh, right. Yeah, it'd be 11.
Okay, and I think you should have a second attack as well.
Yeah, I do. It's going to be an 8. I just rolled a 3. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You fling your shurikens. It's an awkward attack. They just kind of go soaring. What do we got? Lykar.
Okay, I'm going to move with best speed, giving chase to the guy that's fleeing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You can just move at half speed, or if you want, you can make an athletics check. If you succeed, you'll like vault over some stuff and get there faster. If you fail, you'll like land in the muck and like you're done moving for the turn.
Well, I'll try the move at half speed.
Okay. So you cover 30 feet of distance. He's like 85 feet away from you.
Okay. I will try and attack with Chaos Bolt, because that is 120-foot range.
All right.
Will this be disadvantage?
I think you make an attack roll.
Right. Just a standard attack?
Yeah. You don't have any disadvantage. He'll have like +2 from half cover.
Golly, that's a pretty good roll because I get +8, 90, 20, 24.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's 2d8 and 1 + 6.
Uh-huh.
All right, so the 6 is 3 and 2d8, 8 and 2. 13 total, and 3. It's fire damage.
All right. You hit him with this like swirling bolt of sorceress chaos energy. Fire erupts off of his back where he's like already singed there. He shrieks out. Ah! It falls down into a puddle. The boggy muck puts out the fire, but he's unconscious. Kivish.
All right. So that guy is down. Who is still standing up?
The commander, who is like teeth gritted with a bit of vine still poking out, like pressing his way towards you all, spitting curses that he's going to rip you apart.
Won't you just cast sleep on him? You like get to take a step, face plant.
Well, see,
I'll show you the might of Clanax Wart. I don't care if I die out here in the swamps.
so for one thing, I'm pretty sure druids don't actually get sleep, but also, yeah, they don't.
Circle of Dreams druid without sleep. I'm very disappointed in you.
It's not a druid spell, nor is it a circle spell. Their powers are all about fey stuff. Anyway, I don't know. He might have too many hit dice. Anyway, I do have an idea. Yeah. So he's still there, and Kivish is going to once again do some speculating and some incantations, and this time I'm casting Hold Person. Restrained is one thing, but paralyzed, and that's another thing entirely.
Paralyzes.
20.
Nope.
20. Wow.
Curses to your damn spells.
Do you hold your ground, or you try to get closer?
I'll stay there.
Okay. And just kind of to put this out there, I generally try to keep combat moving along fast. So sometimes I'll just kind of like go to the next person, but if you wanted to like reposition, just stop me. Just be like, oh, hey, I wanted to move somewhere, and that should be fine. We're on to actually the enemy now. All right, so where was he at? Like 50 feet away, yeah? Okay. So he kind of struggles through for a few paces more, pulls out a javelin, and he's going to sling it at where to go? Okay, I'm on the right page. Here it is. He's going to sling it at, gosh, well, he'd love to sling it at this enemy dwarf right in front of him, but there was that sorcerer that just like killed his allies.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, he's gonna sling it at Lykar.
I did it. It was me.
Yeah, he's gonna sling it like Lykar. Actually, he throws two javelins.
Okay.
Lykar?
Lykar, you have +2 to your AC. from just the swamp terrain. Maybe it's a rock, maybe it's a tree, maybe it's just a bad angle with the different varied elevation.
That'll give me 16.
All right. Well, one's a miss and one is a critical hit.
Yes.
13 damage right back at you.
Ouch.
That is for Hans!
Which one was Hans? Were they all Hans?
He's my cousin! Noxiqual.
Was your
Hey,
cousin?
he was your cousin.
Noxiqual, how far away is he from me now?
He is 35 feet away.
Can I engage him in melee? If I do an acrobatics check to move at full speed.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Does a 25 pass that check?
It sure does.
All right, good thing on 19 on the Yeah, exactly. I'm getting up in his face. I'm attacking him with my sword.
Okay.
Because I haven't gotten a good melee in for a while.
Noxiqual leaps from a muddy mound onto that fallen tree that Kivish was on, and then like comes down like from above, leaping downwards with a stroke from Sombris.
Yeah, man, I forgot how powerful this sword was. I just want to state this ahead of time. If I would drop him to 0, I can choose to just knock him out.
Yep.
Just saying that ahead of time.
Yeah, you can with melee attacks.
Well, that's a nat 20.
That
All
one
right.
may have been for Hans, but this one's for Tanyan.
Oh, Canyon! Alright, so 2d6, 2d6.
Vince, Tanyan was one of Noxical's crew members that got killed. He got dragged off by a saber-toothed tiger while they were camping out in the
This is the
Badlands.
most random death, too. Like, he should have died so many other times. And they
Just that was just the thing that did him in. Okay.
Holy okay.
And there's a battle cry that is for Tanyan, which was shouted by Kobe the Lion, who's another crew member of his.
I'm gonna bring
Right
Kobe
before
Lion
he
back.
critical hit a soldier to help, like, when they were trying to
heist.
do that scheming at Horncombe Lodge. Yeah,
There was a heist.
yeah, it was a heist at Horncombe.
We'll go over it in a recap sometime.
Yeah.
But so that's a total of 25 damage from the crit.
All right. You
Ouch.
slash him righteously. Yeah, okay. You slash him righteously. He barely holds his feet.
And then here's the second attack. It was an 18 hit.
Yes.
And that was my second roll. That's only a normal attack. 13 damage.
All right. And then you crack him up the side of his head with your pommel, and he falls unconscious at your feet. Slump.
I pull him up by his beard.
Greatest insult to a dwarf.
Yep. All right. Well, we got a prisoner. I think we should tie him up and interrogate him. Search the bodies too. Drake, would you be so good as to make sure that if there are any survivors, collect them, as well as any useful things that they might have.
This one can do that for you.
Thank you. Most helpful. I'll just.
All right. So you have a swamp dwarf unconscious, wounded but not dead. And the others were roasted to death.
Damn, I say to Lykar, that was a brutally efficient way to show them that we're not fucking around.
Yeah, I'm done talking.
Yeah, like Harley, you caught me on the wrong day, boy.
Yeah.
Drake, as you're going and looking at the fallen, it looks like they're totally roasted to death. One of them, he's still alive, but I mean, he's in terrible shape. He's all burnt up. He's just like he's not even really conscious. He's just like.
So almost. All right, with that one, I want to do an attack roll. I'm going to just put him out. Drake's just going to end his life because there's no point in prolonging that suffering.
Okay. Do you have a specific way that's like a technique, like break his neck or slit his throat?
Simple. Choke him out, and then crack the neck.
Okay. So
Make
you
it as painless as possible.
okay. You
Quivering
asphyxiate.
palm.
No, it's fish slap.
You
At least that's the Stony Strike. It's just gonna be fish slap.
you asphyxiate the badly fallen the badly burnt soldier who has fallen. All right, what do you guys do now?
He stops kicking after the first 2 minutes. Okay.
Kivish dusts himself off and sees if when he fell earlier on, if he picked up any interesting seeds on the way down.
Yeah.
Drake's gonna check. I guess just check for what here.
I mean, there's nothing obvious and immediate to Kivish. If you want to spend time, you can do. You have a herbalism proficiency?
Not specifically.
No. Okay, so you would just do like a survival check and spend some time. I'd probably roll like 1d4 hours as you are actively gathering and searching through the swamp terrain.
Well, he's only gonna do this until somebody else like comes and stops him from doing it. So
okay, so you're poking around. There's nothing immediately obvious, but you're still looking. Maybe you'll find something.
Hey, Kivish, I need you.
For what?
To help me interrogate this fine dwarf.
Is he awake yet already?
Well, that's why I need you. First, I take all his weapons. I search him for any hidden things. I'll strip him of his armor. Whatever. And basically, we get him helpless.
Okay. Let's see. He had like 2 javelins left in the sheath, a long sword, a dagger, and otherwise, just a standard pouch. He has like his rations for the day, a wine skin, torch, flint and steel, just basic stuff that one might carry with them. He's got a purse of 10 gold coins.
Yeah, I will.
Scale armor and a shield.
10 gold coins. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so I take all that and make sure that he's disarmed. Do we have something to tie him up with? Anyone have some rope? I might have some rope.
Drake's got rope.
I have rope if we need it.
Everyone has rope.
Do the honors of tying him up, and then I say, let's pop a good bear in his mouth, and I will suggestion magic him to make him more cooperative.
By pop a good berry, does that imply Kivish casting it? Because somebody else gets it too?
I mean, you'll have 9 other good berries.
That's true. Although in his case, maybe they're more like, good mushrooms.
Mushrooms, yes.
Good, good crab apples.
Whatever
shrooms.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, Esper, while they're doing that, I want to start looting the bodies.
Okay, so you look over the bodies of the fallen dwarves to see if there's something worthwhile for picking off of them. Let's see. There's their chain shirts. There's 2 heavy crossbows. They each have a dagger. There's two halberds. Make a perception check.
Okay. $13.
Okay. You find a total of 6 gold coins and 6 silver coins. Nothing else really strikes your fancy. Just real basic, soldier mundane effects. I mean, if you want to grab like a bit of rations or wine, you can. Standard fare.
So there was the 3 chain shirts, the halberd, 3 daggers.
There's 4 chain shirts, 4 daggers, 2.
The 4th guy's way off. I haven't gone to him yet. It was just the first 3 daggers.
Sure. I'll just kind of including him too, since you'll get to them all eventually.
Okay, so all right, then I'll just do that. Right, just add them all in. So 4 chain shirts, 2 halberds, 4 daggers is what I got.
Mm-hmm. Do any of those items interest you?
The daggers do.
Okay.
So I'm going to have him grab the daggers.
Okay.
But the 2 halberds, no. The chain shirt, he wouldn't even use the chain shirt. Well, they have a chain glove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they have some kind of protection next for their hands. Maybe there's chain.
The reason I asked is because with falconry, either the bird is on the shoulder or on the arm, and he would want something to protect his own arm, but it wouldn't be. I don't want it as like an armored bonus.
The talons of your falcon are getting a little bit bigger, and you figure it's probably good to have a falconer's glove. So you salvage off either like a chain mitt or some kind of leather gauntlet.
Wouldn't want more leather than chain because they could actually get trapped in chain. It's better to have leather.
Yes, that is a good point. All right, so you've got your nice leather glove.
Yeah.
I want to wake this dwarf up.
Question for how Drake's things go. Like when combat arises, does the falcon just kind of like flutter away like into a little protected area?
Yeah, it's gonna fly off because with combat, I was never expecting to have him in combat, even once he was full grown.
Okay.
At most, it would just be like a scout and grab food.
All right, that's kind of how Kivish's tar pony does. It just kind of like hangs back defensively.
Yeah.
But he does have a spell that makes use of the tar pony should he have a need for it.
Yeah, no. I looked up like stats like for what the falcon would be like, and while it would be useful, I didn't want to use it as a combat.
Right. Well, it's a little bird after all.
Yeah.
Ability that lets you deliver a punch at range, and then you can falcon punch.
So, Kivish, did you cast that good mushroom spell?
Yes, he did indeed.
All right.
He shall conjure up 10 magic morels with magicalness.
All right, so you put the healing mushroom into the mouth of the Axwort, soldier commander here, and he mumbles something and comes to consciousness. It is no. Just let me die. I don't want to be speaking with you fools.
You know, if you are speaking in book terms, a morel is not a mushroom. It is a type of cup fungus.
Suggestion.
Oh, you are awake.
He's speaking in Dwarven.
Oh, thank you.
I know about... wait. What? What is this? Let me go!
No.
I immediately cast... by the way, am I coming through clear now?
You're still a little robotic.
I'm going to cancel and come back to the call real quick then, just to fix it.
No worries.
Ironically, it did get fixed right before he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in interrogating this guy, aside from the distracting banter, Kivish is going to ask, so, you're an Axwort.
Aye. That I am.
And how long have your plan worked for the witch?
I don't see any reason why I should be speaking to you. You're the enemy. Just kill me now and get it over with.
I see 5 reasons.
Kivish, there's no need for such crude methods.
Oh?
They'll only tell you what you want to hear.
What did you have in mind?
Begin tracing some
Who bound this prisoner?
Noxiqual did, I think, with somebody's rope.
I asked someone else to do it, which I assume was the monk or Lykar. Both of them had rope.
I was looting, so I wouldn't have been able to do it at the time.
Lykar, then you tied him up.
Yeah.
All right, Lykar, you tied him up?
Sure.
What's better, your strength or your dexterity or your intelligence? Just tell me the whole score.
Dexterity 16, intelligence 10.
Okay, 16 dexterity, because he's struggling to get free of the bindings.
And I said that I was casting the spell like a dozen times.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You cast a suggestion?
Yeah.
Okay. So as he's struggling, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job with his struggling, by the way, you cast suggestion. Does he make a wisdom saving throw?
It is definitely a wisdom save.
Okay. All right. So he's struggling. It looks like he might even be able to break free of these bindings. Your suggestion spell is successful. What do you say to him?
I say, I think you should sit there and answer all my questions truthfully for the next hour.
Well, if you think that would help.
I would be happy to allow you to go back to your village as soon as we're done here.
Mm-hmm. Your voice is breaking up again, man. I mean, I can make out what you're saying, but it sounds rough.
I can fix it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
One.
One Mississippi. Two. Has Drake gone back yet to these guys?
Sure, Drake, you're approaching now, and you saw at a distance this this stout, scale armor clad dwarf. He's like struggling, and looks like he almost was gonna break off part of the ropes, and then Noxiqual cast something over him, and he just kind of like, okay.
I'm going to ready an action then, in case he does break out.
So the ready action, that's something you do during initiative.
Okay.
But you can just kind of tell me what your character is doing, or
because he's seen the dwarfs trying to break out. He doesn't realize the spell's been cast. He's just only seen him just slump back down, so he doesn't know if he's doing a feint or not. So he's getting ready to go in and use a stunning strike on him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you position yourself such that you could attack this captain.
Yeah, with like straight in, just hit him.
Okay, so you get close and you kind of like you're on guard at the ready.
Yeah, because I only just see him sit down. I don't think I saw the spell being cast, so I wouldn't be able to know.
Okay, got it. How's your microphone working out, Warsor? Nope. No,
that's worse.
Nope. Kivish has reflected the mute curse onto Noxiqual. Does anyone else have any other questions or interactions for this tied up NPC here?
How is it that you think you are in a position to bargain and to not tell us what we need to know?
I suppose that I'm not. You should have just let me die in battle.
No.
You take a dwarf's pride away. How could you do this?
Well, to tell truth, I did not do it, but he did, and he did.
Can you hear me
with
now?
relative ease.
Hear ya.
Yep, now we hear you.
Awesome. I was talking the whole time. I could hear you guys, so yeah.
Yep.
Kivish, he seems despondent at your statement there.
All right, so I have some questions for him. One, do you work for the Swamp Queen?
Yes. The Swamp Queen, everyone works for her now, it seems.
She controls your entire clan?
She is not the chieftain of our clan, but I think that she has put worms in the chieftain's brain, and he has become her
Agreeable.
Her ally, and he dictates to us as such.
How many do you believe truly hold allegiance to her? Or is it simply the allegiance to a chief, and thus to her?
Most of them think that she is a good leader, but not everyone. There are doubts.
Interesting. Where is the Swamp Queen?
I believe she is inside.
He points towards Dirge Caverns.
She is inside the caverns, not in the village.
How should I know? I do not watch over her.
Does she have a place in the village that she stays when she is not in the caverns?
No.
Excellent. Where is your chief?
He should be inside as well, getting ready for the battle. He put. Oh, I guess he can't put his hand over that.
He can't put his hand over
He just got.
How are you aware that there is to be a battle? Who has revealed this information to your clan?
We have scouts, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And is there anyone else that sent word other than your scouts?
Not that I know of.
Excellent. How many trolls and necromantic rot trolls does the Swamp Queen command?
Now there are two. She had one of these necro trolls, but the other one came back recently.
There are two. All right. Good to know.
So
Does she have
that makes sense to you because you heard that she had one with her, and there was that one that chased the dwarves off into the swamp, and no one knew exactly where that last one was. So I guess he came back to mommy.
Legit. What else does she command at her disposal other than your dwarven armies and these trolls?
Well, there's a cult of the Queen. She has her skeletal soldiers.
Mm-hmm. How many?
How many skeletons?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe 100.
Okay, that's good enough.
Is there a back door?
That's what I was about to ask.
Okay, that was.
Yeah. Is there a back door into the caverns?
There are three caves to get into the caverns.
And
one is in Bleeding Heart.
Mm-hmm.
One is on the south side. One is on the north side.
The north side.
The north one leads to the old tombs. The one on the south leads into the other caves.
Why do you call them the other caves?
Because they are the other caves. They are not the dwelling. They are not the dwelling. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was pretty funny, Esper.
The other caves. Yeah, that's cool.
They are not the dwellings. They are the caves. He seems to not know a better way of describing them. It seems like they're just these caves that will lead on eventually to where the dwarves actually have things worked.
Well, what would you say is the greatest weakness or the weakest point of your defenses here?
Our defenses have no weakness.
Answer me truthfully. Where would you attack if you were our army and you wished to defeat your own forces?
I think you make like a charisma saving throw to do more specialized things, right?
That's charm. You're thinking of charm.
Is it charm?
I'll make it for you because maybe it's a complicated question. He might not understand it fully. Maybe.
And I think it's treading into something that like his will to keep possession of his mind and his people is really fighting. So let's do like a charisma contest.
I rolled a nat 20.
Right, there was that idea.
Let's see how much he fails.
Yes.
Okay, he's got a 7.
Total is 25. Just
all right, he's got a 7.
Yeah. I feel like maybe
you hear lots of birds singing all of a sudden.
Hang on. Maybe he like starts to resist, and then like the shadows like engulf his eyes, and like he starts convulsing, and he has to answer. You know.
He says,
Do you just went straight up Jafar with the snake staff to the king's eyes?
Can I borrow that snake staff for a minute? Staff of the eye.
This one has an idea. This one would like to know where the strongest points in your defense are.
Let's let him answer the first
okay,
question.
so he's going to tell you both of those pieces of information now. He says, if you could find a way to defeat the whites in the tomb before they could be mustered into the forces, and then you could fight the Swamp Queen and her trolls, you would have defeated all of the strongest members. That is our strength and would be our weakness if they fell. But I don't know how you could kill 2 rat trolls and Swamp Queen together.
Easily.
And the cult and skeletons is too much. But if it could be done, they would have very little hope.
So he also mentioned
there's probably a lot here, so I should paraphrase some to kind of speed things along. Like, but he basically tells you if you go through that north entrance, which is like the back entrance, you kind of like go through these tunnels and you end up in these like old dwarf tombs,
right?
And the whites like really just rest there in the tombs, but they'll get mustered into the forces of this whole host here. But if you can take them out first, and then you keep going, following that same tunnels, you're going to end up like in the big like Great Hall cavern, and there's like a cult of the Mer Queen. There's skeletons. There's the rot trolls. There's the Swamp Queen. At least that's like their quarters where they normally are. So those are all those like the whites, the rot trolls, and the Swamp Queen. Those are the strongest members of the army. If they could be like fought in isolated groups and taken out, then the army as a whole is going to be much weaker.
Right. Well, without them, it's just an army of dwarves and some skeletons.
Well, yeah, but maybe the skeletons wouldn't be controlled anymore.
Right, exactly.
So he tells you the skeletons have a commander. If the Swamp Queen was to die, he has a name, Tojin. Tojin is next in command of the skeletons.
All right.
Okay.
This guy calls him the Stygian Archer. There's also the chieftain of Clan Axwort, Chieftain Turgis Axwort. There's one other elite soldier, so he and one other elite soldier would be like next in command after that.
Right.
Then you're just down to soldiers, and then just the regular militia and the skeletons.
So
here's... All right. So we know the army, the host of Norgal's Rock, is arriving in how long from now?
Tomorrow.
So honestly, we should probably go straight ahead to that and begin our cutting the head off the army before they get here, such that when they begin the battle, the other army will find themselves suddenly decapitated and truncated of their strongest stuff. And then
ultimately, we can't fight an entire army by ourselves. This is something we can do.
Precisely.
This is something we're equipped to do. We're a strike force.
Right.
And by attacking through the back door, we can cut off the head of all these different pieces. And when the
if you can pull it off, it would greatly influence the battle. You're starting to get like numbers off of him and what the exact unit types are and such. And just from everything he's told you, if this was just like a straight battle between Dirge Cavern's host as is versus Nurgle's Rock as is, you think Nurgle's Rock is just screwed. It's just screwed. They're going to be fighting like whites and rot trolls and the skeletons. It's too much. It's just too much. And they got these powerful units and the regular dwarves. They might freak out with like undead things fighting them. But yes, if you could cut the thing's head off, sling to the back door like before the actual battle, it would massively influence things.
We got a
Um,
commando. Get in from behind. We're gonna beat commandos and
Yeah.
go in from.
And just to kind of like put this out there, if it did come to a situation where we've got like the mass scale battle going on,
Right.
you guys still will get your turns too. We'll still do it like in initiative, and we like when it's on a character's turn, we kind of like zoom in onto that character, and what you do still could have an impact. Like maybe you'll take out a member of a unit, or maybe you have some kind of like area spell that will affect a group of enemy soldiers. So it still can work as like a big battle is going on.
Okay. I think we've gotten all that we need out of this guy. Does anyone have any further questions for him?
Oh, I can't think of any.
Okay. Does anyone mind if I kill him?
I mean, he did say he wanted it.
This one I asked, are we done with this one?
Yes, but you're happy to keep. Welcome to keep hanging around us.
Okay, so is this one asked, are we done with this dwarf?
Ah, there you go.
Oh, okay. All right. So you all take out the dwarf. I don't know who wants to do the honor here.
I'll have to get that.
No. I stop you. I'm like, stop. I claimed his death.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Do you consent to this? Or did you just snap his neck, or did you like?
No, I was pulling the hand back as to show that Drake's pulling the hand back.
No. His life is mine. I will put it to
an honorable death. This one must know.
Yeah, about
his death will serve us more if I.
It will serve the greater honor.
His spirit will live on
for a while.
Allow me to demonstrate. I raise my sword, ready to cut him down.
Drake takes a step back to let you.
And I
so
just
you are doing this again, are you, Noxiqual?
Yeah, I'm cutting him down like with a diagonal slash across his body. Blood spurts, and his life force. And then I start chanting over his body, and shadows, start rising up out of him and like form into this sort of netherworldly shadow creature. I've just created a shadow
specter.
There. A specter. That's what they are.
All right. So Noxiqual pulls a specter from the soul of the dead dwarf. Why'd you make me do this? Let me rest.
I couldn't just let that accent die. I'm sorry. But no. You will aid us in our endeavors to defeat the servants of the Mer Queen and the Swamp Queen. In doing so...
No, I do not want to fight against my brethren.
You will not fight against your brethren. You will help us kill the Swamp Queen, and thus ensure that some of your clan survives her madness.
As you bid, master.
Yes. Come. So this thing is like kind of like flickering in the sunlight. It doesn't like sunlight, but it's not hurting it.
Yeah, it's sensitive to sunlight.
It gets disadvantage and things, but it'll be better once we get it inside. So
Orgrim says,
"Well, I don't like it, but at least you're on my side. And Clan Axewort has already gotten a good buggering, and we're gonna give him some more."
Yes, let us.
Drake just looks upset because it was not an honorable death in his mind.
It was not.
He gives
this was no honor.
Yeah, he gives Drake a pat on the back. He says,
there's no honor in this. I am not proud of this moment.
We are at war, gentlemen. Things must be done to ensure victory.
We give honor.
So you all continue on talking about what's better, a dishonorable victory or an honorable death or an honorable loss, and that could be its own conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what the party's doing next. Are you leaving the bodies here and just like immediately going straight to that northern cave on the other side?
hide the bodies enough that they
I would
won't be immediately
hide them,
discovered, and then do that. Yeah.
I was about to say we can just cover muck over top of them, and they'll look like a
Exactly.
small lump. Yeah.
Okay, so you do take a little bit of time. That will take some out, but seems like you still have a decent amount of daylight left. You cover up the bodies. Just like a cursory glance would probably just see the swamp terrain, and you continue circling around to where you're going to get to this this northern cave. Everyone will get half a milestone except Nox. I'll give you one full milestone.
Cool.
Thank you. I'm
And
half a milestone, slowly catching up to you guys by half every time.
nice. And I am going to make a note on the numbers of Dirge Caverns, or the Swamp Queen's Clutch, as I have named it, because they have just lost some creatures. Okay.
Well, that'll put me up to level 8.
Oh shit.
Excellent. Yeah, after you take your long rest, you'll be next level.
Which, I mean, will happen before the big battle, at least.
I never even picked my 4th level spell when I hit level 7.
What?
I've been so busy.
Well,
Blasphemy.
you have no one to blame but yourself.
Well, does your spirit guy,
Yes.
does he still know the things that he knew in life?
That's entirely up to Esper because it's not covered raw by the power.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we wanted like good directions and which tunnels to take, and
I will read to you what it says, like the first 2 sentences, because that's all that's relevant here. 6th level, you can bind the soul of a slain foe to your service temporarily. When you slay a humanoid, cause its spirit to rise from the corpse as a specter. There's some mechanical stuff. The specter remains your servant until the end of your next long rest. It travels on to the afterlife.
So yeah, it's entirely up to the DM. I'm just going to keep doing it like I've been doing it before, like what I've done already with this guy and with that lizard folk that you that you did the specter effect on. So
it's like they retain.
Yeah, it's to some degree.
It's like their soul is still in it, whatever that means.
Do you speak Dwarven?
Do I speak Dwarven?
Noxiqual, do you speak Dwarven? Okay, so it will be kind of limited, but he'll be able to convey basics to you, and he'll follow your verbal commands.
Yeah. Okay.
We always have someone who can translate if need be.
Okay, so on the northern side of Dirge Tor, you come across an old cave mouth, natural cave mouth.
Excellent.
I recognize it, or does Kivish recognize it? From a dream.
Why, it does bear quite a striking resemblance to the one you saw in your dream.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Because that was the one the skeletons were coming out of, so theoretically the main one.
Uh-huh.
This is supposed to be the back one.
Oh, just get over your dreams.
You also see, outside of this cave, 2 dead dwarves hanging from a gnarled swamp tree with a sign marking them trespassers.
Do I recognize any of them?
Make a perception check, as they are in a nasty state of decay and bloat.
16.
Oh, Orgrim says, "That's disgusting." You take a quick look as their tongue popped out, bloated, dead things turning black. They do look like Norgle's Rock dwarves to you. You don't recognize exactly who they are, but they seem like they're from Norgle's Rock.
He mutters something about how they were probably Mithrilian pit sitters anyway.
Oh my gosh. How can you make jokes at a time like this, Kivish?
It's gallows humor.
Like that.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
all.
That was the joke.
Drake's gonna cut him down.
Okay.
With what?
I got a couple daggers.
Okay, just checking to make sure. I was like,
Yeah,
hands
he's
sharp?
seen two dead disrespected bodies that most likely died in combat if there's especially from a separate clan.
This is going to be fun. We have a somewhat honorable character in the party now.
Well, see, here's the thing: it's within combat, he's honorable, but outside of combat, he's not as honorable.
Oh no, I'm saying it's an interesting thing. It's going to make me be on my toes.
Yeah, because he's still pissed at you for just stealing that soul and not letting him die.
Oh no,
it's another dynamic that we have. So that will only add another layer to make things interesting. You go out on the gnarled tree limb there. You get the two guys cut down. Are you wanting to bury them? What's your intention?
I know we probably don't have. He knows don't have time to bury him, but it's going to move them off to the side, cover the bodies, and then say like a quick prayer over them.
Okay, so you move them like into the brush or into the bushes, whatever happens to be there, and you give them a quick word to rest in peace. And I suggest that we pause here. We're at time now, and
we can.
And then next session we'll start with you guys getting into the dungeon.
Right.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody who was watching. Anyone who's still with us at this point, you're welcome to join us on Discord. I've got the link down in the video description. And we will see you all in a couple weeks' time. Happy Halloween.
Indeed.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Happy Top 10 Scariest Monsters Day.